It don't matter where you are in your life. You don't have to do it by yourself. It don't matter what you need. Colin can help.
Perfect. Now we're recording. We are with DJ Undoo from Romania. I am Colin of Colin Can Help, normally from Cleveland. I am currently in Erie doing a huge podcast day. We got 2 more to do, driving to New York. But thank you so much for your time, for getting with us. And I believe this is going to be the first English interview that you have on YouTube. I've looked for 5 days and I can't find one.
Yeah. I don't have any other interview in English. I don't speak very well English, but thank you for invitation. I hope I can bring something value with your podcast.
Absolutely. And you think you don't speak English well, but your English is 1,000,000 times better than my Romanian, so you're ahead of the game.
Thanks.
But let's talk about where it all started. Let's talk about where did you grow up? What was it like being a kid, and where did the whole DJ Undoo profile come into that?
Yeah. I'm from Romania, from Bucharest. You know, it's in Europe. I started early in 2000 as a bedroom DJ. You know, I found the old turntable when I was little. I was listening old stories on old record vinyls, and after that I saw some. I think is on MTV or something. I saw the first DJs who make scratches and use turntables, and after that I was listening a hip hop radio show by one of the first DJ from Romania, DJ Slick, Radio 1 or something like that. Deep Beats or was the name, and I was very impressed by that sound. And after that, I was listening a lot of hip hop, Romanian hip hop, and there was 2 or 3 DJs back in the days who are doing scratches, and I also was fascinated by that sound. And oh, what is that sound? I want to make that sound. So I go after my old turntable from the childhood, and I started to scratching the old records. But it was, I think, about after 2 or 3 years when I got my first turntable, direct drive turntable, so I can make a lot of good movements, because the first turntable was also an old turntable, and the movement was slow and the sound is not very good.
Gotcha. So you touched on a few things there. Let's run back to a couple of them. You said that you got your influence both off of Romanian hip hop and American hip hop. Also off of you originally came to it from the old turntables and the old records, and you do a lot of currently in a lot of your stuff. You do have a lot of like old American samples of like that 1960s, 1970s feel. Where did you start getting your music from? Is it just accessible over the internet, or were you going to like record shops and finding old records? How did all that start
back in the days?
Yeah, like
back in the days
when you first started, like early 2000s. Like I know that was like pre-internet. So like how was all that? How are you getting the material to sample and put all that together?
I have I think an old collection of old records with all kinds of music, and I don't have access to the collection of hip hop records. After I meet some friends, maybe I buy some records with hip hop, but in the beginning was all records from Romania, from Europe, from all other countries. With that records, I start to sampling from to get samples from them, and to learn. In 2000, also, I start learning making beats. So I was using my first computer and with the old software. So I was sample the sound from the old disc, and I started to make beats. So it was hard to get music, and especially hip hop music on vinyl. So I think was the internet with MP3 sharings apps. I don't know how they the name. Yeah. So it was hard. So also on a big period of time, I was using tapes. You know.
Nice.
Yes, I have a friend. He had a big record collection of tapes, and he gave me the tapes. I also listen a lot, and after that, after the internet is coming greater in Romania, I continue to search and use MP3s.
I know here in America, I want to say probably 2004, 2006, I'd say, is when the internet file sharing and everything really became a big difference between where you had to go locally to be able to then go online to LimeWire or Napster or all those things, where they really became not only available, but internet speeds also kicked up. Is that about the same time frame for Romania, or were you guys ahead or behind us with that?
I think now we are good with the internet. We have a very good internet connection. But back in the days, we call it dial-up. I don't know. We have a modem back in the PC, and with the phone wire, we have to connect that modem, and it was very slow and very expensive. So
yeah, I remember
the guys who can access the guys who can access the good internet, they have downloading a lot of albums and songs, and they make bootlegs, and they give copies, and they sell copies and things like that.
Yeah, that's a very prominent thing where I'm from as well. Here, legally, that's not at all accepted. I know different cultures, like the Chinese, they don't really care at all about copyrights. What's that like in Romania, being a DJ, being somebody that makes a living from sampling and things like that? How are the copyrights over in Romania?
In the years that come, the law are bigger now, and we have to obey them. So we try to also to respect the artist. So now with the iTunes and with all that services, with streaming and with a lot of artists who they release their music on Bandcamp, and we know we can make for sure, if we pay them that albums and that songs, the money goes strict to them. So I try to make it possible to use all that legal music.
Right.
But it was times when we have to use the sharing.
You just have to make it work sometimes, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And speaking of sampling and going about the proper channels, that's actually how this whole interview started. Was I've heard of you through Ken Archie. Shout out to Ken Archie. I'm sure he's gonna be watching this one. But through going through him, you have a couple songs with him, but Shining ended up getting me to Thank God It's Monday. And I was walking the dog one day, man, and I was just walking, and I was like, this is the perfect beat, the perfect melody, the perfect intro. And so I was like, I gotta ask him if I could kind of play with this a little bit, like knowing I couldn't do anything like you could with, the musical end of it. But I was like, I love this sound. And as I was researching you more after you said you'd get on the podcast, I found your podcast and found out that you have the best intro song in the world. And I was like, great minds think alike, but there's no way I could even think of using Thank God It's Monday for an intro. You killed it.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And how about podcasting? Podcasting, I've just recently got into it about a few months ago, and I'm loving it. I'm growing every week, growing every month. What's the podcast scene like in Romania? Because I know that you recently started one in the last.
Yeah, I started one last year, but I'm slow with the episodes. I don't have so many episodes. I think I'm on the 7th episode. But it's a new thing. It's a challenge for me to learn something new and to connect with people like you, to
Absolutely.
have interviews and to discuss things. It's still at the beginning in Romania, this thing, because people, they used to watch things on YouTube. They want the video thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to tell them, okay, but when you are driving and when you are jogging, you have to use the headphones. And so I don't know where it's going here, but I will do it when I feel it and how I feel it, and it's no pressure for me. It's to have fun and to connect with people and to learn something new, and maybe to give something value to the people who follows me, so they can find new content from me in other aspects, rather than music and what I do usually.
Absolutely. And you touched on another thing. I mean, that's the whole theory behind my podcast, is helping other people tell their stories, so that you, like you said, you do great work. So let's tell more people about you. And then you also not only can you bring in the entertainment fact of, hey, we got a really cool DJ on the show, but he's also able to humble himself and say, this is what I started at and this is what I've learned, and let me try to help you grow. And I'm very appreciative that you being able to share your platform with our platform. Like you said, it's just a collaborative effort. And like you said, Romanians love YouTube, which explains why you have such a great YouTube following. But what we're doing here is recording the same thing that you would record just in a telephone call with a lot of shows. But by having the video, then I could take this, I could chop it, I could, put your music behind it, or, put graphics behind it to promote your album, to then get to the Romanians that like the YouTube, the Americans that like YouTube, but also capture everybody. Like you said, you can't watch the screen all day, so let's put it in every form. If you're watching it on YouTube and you got to go, it's an audio form, so you could just pick up right where you left off and go that way. It's amazing how you can reach people with podcasts.
Yeah. Also, I listen a lot of podcasts from the US, from a lot of public figures, and I think it's very educative. I don't know, entertainment with education, and
Absolutely.
I learn a lot of things from that podcast. So I think it's a good thing to promote.
What are you said that you listen to a lot of both Romanian and American. If you had to give your top 3 podcasts that you listen to, what would they be?
I listen to a lot of Tony Robbins, the personal development guy. I listen to a lot of I think Gary Vaynerchuk.
Gary V.
Yes. From Romania, I think there are two podcasts. I don't remember the name now. It's a small thing with podcasts in Romania. There are not so a lot of people doing podcasts. So I listen a lot from the US.
Well, since not too many Romanians are doing it, you are doing it. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit more? I know you only have a few episodes, but what can you tell us about your podcast? It's called Street Talk, right?
No, it's called Street Smart Show.
Street Smarts. I was close.
yeah, and it's about I think it's about creativity and how people work on I started doing interviews with artists, hip hop artists and other creative people like designers, and so I try to look out how they make music, how they think their art, and they promote it, and all kind of this stuff. So, and other topics like new music and new books or movies or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a free discussion. I have a structure with some questions, but it's a free discussion.
I'm so glad you said that, because it sounds like every bit of video and audio that we capture here today, I'm just going to send directly to you, and you could have your own episode in its entirety, because you essentially said the same things that I'm trying to do here. I have a musical special that you're going to be on. I have an author showcase. I have a general creator showcase, the people that are just doing their things with their hands. Like after I talk to you, I'm going to hop back on the road and go to see Twisted Willow Fabrications and see a small time metal fabricator and see how he does the process, and see how he goes from a big sheet of metal and turn that into a beautiful door handle or anything that somebody once made. So it's the ability to create with those creators and give them the platform and show them everything.
It's my friend 5OX from here, from Romania.
Thanks for joining the show, buddy. So with your podcast, how do you find your guests?
I started with the people I know from the hip hop scene. I'm I was collaborate a lot with a lot of artists from that scene, and I started with them. I don't know what I will do when I finish the list with the artists I know. Maybe I have to calling some other creative peoples, but I started with the people I know. I already know, and I have their trust.
Mm-hmm. Have you thought of it sounds like you've got like a nice conversational show. Have you thought about doing any episodes kind of just teaching the techniques of DJing, or kind of just giving that whole just strictly educational piece?
I think it's a little hard on just on audio to do that. I also have some video tutorials on our DJ school website, so I don't want to make it hard for someone to learn DJing just hearing me talking about DJing. So
gotcha.
I also did a video tutorial where I explain in details the movements, the things, the software, the turntables, the mixers, all that things.
Gotcha. And let's go a little bit deeper into the DJing. You're extremely humble. You're not giving yourself nearly enough credit for. I mean, you've mentioned other DJs in Romania and elsewhere that are kind of killing it. But you tell us about the Red Bull Championships. How did you get into that and those type of things?
It was a thing in 2013 when it was they opened the wild card I don't know how to competition. It was for the countries. They don't hold the local championship, so it was this online battle, let's say it, with 15 countries, I think. So I make about 15 minutes mix. I put it on Mixcloud, and after that I send it to them. After that, the public vote for this kind of competition, and after the 15 countries, they select 3, and from that 3 countries, they selected Romania. And after that, I go to Toronto and participate in the competition there.
And what was that environment like? Like, to me, that seems like it's just going to be like the ultimate party. Like, there's no better place to be than every top DJ in the world, all being in Toronto. Were there a lot of like extra festivities apart from the competition, or what was that whole experience like for you?
The whole experience, the competition, it was taking part in multiple days, because the big final was I think on the end of the week, and in other days there were small finals. And I was picked in the day with SK83 from Germany, Shintaro from Japan, and one other guy from Croatia. I don't remember his name. So it was a big challenge for me, because their guys are they are very good and they are very strong. So, but for me it was a challenge to overcome my doubts and my fears, and to try to be better for me. Excellent. So it was 10 days of wow things. With in the jury was Jam Master, was Jazzy Jeff.
Nice.
So I was listening to Jazzy Jeff back in the days when it was the show with Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
And also with the albums with Will Smith, Fresh Prince. And I was, wow, Jazzy Jeff. I was looking up to him, and now he's in the jury. It was overwhelming for me in some kind of, but it was nice also in other things. So I think it was a thing to open my eyes, and this whole experience with Red Bull Freestyle was to step it up another level with my vision and with my skills and with all that thing. And so when I come back in Romania, I had a drive to make things better, and to learn, and to practice more, and to be better as in the last years, so I don't have to stay in a plateau. So I have to raise the level a bit.
And with raising the level, I mean, you're in a world-class competition, but to me, it kind of seems like in your craft and your personality that you're more almost in competition with yourself than any of the other DJs, just trying to see what peak creativity that you could put out opposed to what everybody else is doing. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I also focus on here in Romania. The battle scene is not like in the States, like in other countries. I think we are 10 DJs, the scratch DJs, and we don't have that culture to battle. So I think I was focusing on production and making songs with MCs and other DJs, and that drive that I get from Toronto was helping me to make that album in 2015, Crown of Life, which the song with Kent is from that album.
Right.
So all that energy, all that good vibe I was putting in that song and in other projects I was doing at the time.
You hit on the word good vibe, and that album is exactly what I would say. It's all good vibes. Like there's nothing but positivity. And I mean, being somebody that can't understand like 90% of it, like we still make it through probably 3/4 of the songs because we don't know what the words mean, but everybody that you have on your songs, they carry the beat, they carry a nice rhythm, and it's just all uplifting. It's all a good vibe. It makes you just try to figure out, like, we got to listen to this 1,000 times to figure out what they're saying. How do you pick who's going to be on your tracks?
It's a organic thing. It's not. I make some beats, and after that I go and I call people or I bring them to the studio and I say, okay, this is the beats I made. What do you think? What do you like? And how you feel it? And what inspires you? And after that they start writing and they start making verses and things, and it's organic. I don't have a big strategy. Also, it's with people I know and with friends or people I know they are passionate about hip hop like me, and it's not it's not a big thing. It's natural.
Yeah, and I think that's how you're capturing such good vibes. You're not trying to force a sound. You're not trying to force a hook. You're trying to just it really, like what you're saying, it really, as somebody that's only listened to the music, not been a part of your actual process, like your process is coming through in the music, absolutely, because every person that's on there, you could tell they're relaxed, you could tell they're in their zone, and your beats, you blend everything so well. And I mean, between the scratching of mixing in something else or just like the melodic tones, like it's all good vibes. Like you just hashtag good vibes. That's what you're doing.
Also, because it's independent album, we don't have pressure to make. It's a thing that we do for fun, and we don't have a pressure to make a single or to make. We want to make music that a lot of people are listening or something like that. But we don't have the pressure like if we are on a big label or something to you have to make this or you have to catch that trend. Why doesn't you use the auto tune or that 808 or that thing or that sound that everybody is using? And maybe that it's more organic and naturally. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's how you stand out. You know, I mean, doing the auto tune or doing the 808 that's popular now, that's cool. But how long is that going to be popular? If you're forcing it, people are going to be like, that's not natural. And going with that organic feel, it allows you to not only maybe do good right now, but it gives you that longevity, I feel.
Yeah, I feel the same.
And speaking of longevity, what are you doing to monetize your creativity? I mean, I'm presuming you're doing shows. I know you have albums out for sale everywhere. How can somebody that wants to be an aspiring DJ monetize their craft?
It's a bit tricky with this niche and this genre here in Romania, but in big picture, I was helping a lot of other artists to record and to make music. So I use the studio and sell my services as a producer and as an engineer. or as a DJ who goes with them in concerts and make live shows. So this was the main revenue for me as an artist. Also, I was in a period of time I was resident in a club. I was mixing Fridays and Saturdays music there. But it's like, it's for me as an artist, is like a very close thing. It's just for the money and not also for the fun of it. So I get rid of that thing of revenue. So the thing is, maybe with production skills and maybe with engineering and recording and things like that, and the physical presence and the physical performance. You go with the bands and you go with other artists who they need the DJs and they need someone who make the show together and blend the songs, and two turntable and the mic. That's the thing. So and, also I have in the years that come, I have this thing, the DJ.ro, the DJ school, where I teach people how to scratch, how to mix, and how to build a DJ set and how to be a DJ. So this is another thing that I do for living, like this. So I also do workshops and I do things at the festivals for other brands who want to make an interactive gathering with people, with music, and so we bring together people around music and around DJing and scratching and mixing and all kinds of this.
That's a beautiful thing, and that's such a good segue, because I want to pick your brain a little bit. I'm not a DJ. I like to play around with GarageBand, doing my editing for my podcast and kind of just taking clips and things, but not at all a DJ. But for those that do want to get into being a DJ, and they don't have a lot of money, they don't have a lot of resources, they don't have their own studio, what would be the first most valuable piece that they could get to start being able to produce on their own or engineer on their own?
I think it's much easier now with a laptop, and there are a lot of free apps and softwares. You can do a lot of music with them, so there is no limit with that. I think production and DJing work good together. So if you learn to DJ and learn to make music, it helps one another. So if you can start in parallel to work on that on these skills, it's great and you learn a lot. I think I don't know, to start and to make beats. That's the first things they can learn. There is a lot of tutorial on YouTube and other sites, free of charge, when you can learn to use that software to make beats and to start to making your own songs. I think from that point they can start. So they have to get a program or audio program and to watch some tutorials, and from there it's all about their imagination and their creativity, I think.
That's a really good point, to be able to have a basic understanding of how to use tools but not be overly reliant on them, but just be able to be comfortable and express what it is that you want to make, sounds like what you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And as you said that you started out being able to produce in your studio, how did you put together, it looks like you're in a studio now, is that just in a room in your house, is that in a building? Where is your studio at?
My studio is in a building that is full of music people and a record DJ record store, and all the people from this building are with music on some levels. Gotcha. I was moving soon here because my old studio was in the back, the basement of my house. So I was in the 15 years in the back. I was in that studio. Now, from the last year, I was moving here. It's not already acoustic, how to say, ready, but it's a good
you got a little bit of everything there. Nice. Yeah, I mean you're fully ready to go. Where did your sound go though? I lost your sound. Hold on a sec. There, are you back? Where did your sound go? There we go. Now you're back. Back.
Okay. So a lot of things you do in the box, how they say it, you know, with the laptop. This is the days we are living. So,
and your quick tour kind of gave me the answer. I was going to ask, are you a Mac or a PC user? And I saw a nice little MacBook there.
Yeah. I'm a Mac guy. I think it's 10 years I don't use Windows, so I'm very happy with this system.
Gotcha. You don't have to hold the mic up anymore. It's once you plugged it back in, everything was good. It was like as soon as you turned, I was like, oh no, because I did something in the background. I was like, I hope I didn't turn it off. So with the Mac, you mentioned that that there's a lot of different apps and things. Is there one particular or a couple particular apps that you recommend other than like a GarageBand? Do you like the Fruity Loops or the FL Studios? What is your go-to for making a beat?
I use Akai, and Akai they have also the standalone samplers, but also they have the controller and the software instruments. So the Akai soft it's a good one, I think, because it's very powerful. It has the background of all the classic MPC drum machine. A lot of hip hop heads and producers use Akai, so Akai, I think it's a good start. Also, I recommend Logic. It's a DAW. It's a layering software. It's like GarageBand, but it's the pro version.
Yeah, it's for the people that actually are musicians that like to do.
Yeah. There are a lot of free software. I don't know. One of them is Audacity. Audacity, it's a free software. There are a lot of online tools now. I don't remember the name right now, but if we can do it in the comments later or something like that, you can make music online with some libraries and some sounds already on the cloud on that website. So the possibilities are unlimited right now with the technology. You can make music. There are a lot of free apps on the iPhones to make beats. So
just find one and start creating.
Yeah,
I think is the solution, right?
Exactly.
And let's go a little bit more into the hardware and the tech, since you did show off a little bit more of your stuff. Microphones are something that I like to talk to every musician about. What type of microphones do you like when you're recording? Is there a particular brand or style, or what can somebody use to get a very professional audio clear quality?
The mic in the back here is a Rode. It's a brand from Australia, and they are doing very good mics. They have also the entry level mics that are good but not so expensive, and also they have the big models with a lot of characteristics and a lot of good price, let's say. So Rode, it's a good brand to start with, because they hold it for quality, and I use it, I think, from 2006 or something. I have this mic and it's very good. It's also Shure. I use Shure Beta 52, I think.
I got a short microphone over here. I just got this about a couple weeks ago. It's pretty cool. It's the MV88, I think.
Okay.
It has a lightning port so that I could plug right directly into my iPhone for when I'm doing an interview or something, so that I could have it. It's a multi-directional. You can kind of bend it and things like that. It does a pretty decent job of picking it up. The only thing that I don't like about the MV88 is that it's pretty much useless unless you're using it with the Shure software. They have a compressor software or some sort of whatever it does in the background, which to me, I think the software does more than the actual mic, but it looks good.
Yeah, so I was talking about the old Shure, the classic with the power cord, you know, and
right.
But this new technology, it's also good if they want to use it with their phone, because it's easier to connect and to start recording. So
yeah, like personally, I like the one that I got just for the ability to take it on the go. You know, like for what you're doing, it makes a lot more sense just to have it, you know, a stationary thing. But for somebody that's kind of mobile and doing on the spot things, or, you know, you pick up the, you know, maybe I just want to record a good voice note, or I have an idea for an intro for the podcast or something, and you want to get that good, clean sound. Is sound, one of our guests said that the worst thing you could do is add volume to things. Would you agree to that as an engineer, as a producer, that it's better just to make sure that you get a good, clear original than trying to add things to the background afterwards?
I think it's from the start, like if you record the sound, the voice, it's recorded good, you have to make some editing, some processing, some. I think if you know what you are doing, I think it's mandatory to do that, to normalize, to compress that thing, to EQ that thing, because I think the quality when you just recording and you don't process that sound, it's low and it's not very good. I don't know, the dynamics. It's
right.
It's not very good. So I think if you know what you are doing, it's okay to process that sound.
Yeah, and it's amazing how, like, I'm used to working with visuals. Like, I do a lot with Photoshop and a lot with visual creation, where I'm just now trying to get out of my comfort zone and do more with the audio and the video and things like that. And video, you got a lot of leniency, but audio, like, to me, what I've learned in the little bit that I've been really trying to get better at editing it, there's such wiggle room of, like, you did a good job to where you just ruined what you were doing. Like, you know, like you're trying to like remove a background noise or something, then it adds a whole bunch of ping to something else, where it's just one of those, it's very, the more I play with it, I'm more impressed by how you guys are able to be in a studio and get that pure sound out of everything. So whatever you're doing, keep doing that.
Yeah, thanks.
A segment I want to try on you, you're going to be the second one on this one. Ken Archie, our mutual buddy, was the first one. It's called name dropping. I'm going to just give you a couple of names of people you've worked with or people that you're tied to online, and give me either your just first instinct word, or if you had a quick, good story that comes up with them, or maybe how the song came to make that people might not know about the songs. Let's go that route.
Okay.
This will be fun for me because I don't know a lot of the people. So kind of your impression of them is going to send me directly for the rest of the road trip to be like, oh, we got to go check out K Gula or somebody like that, you know? So let's start with Ken Archie.
I came back to the land, speaking Romanian, hair down to my chin.
How did you meet him? What do you think about him?
I met him here in Romania. It has, I think, in 2014 or something, with his band from here, the Bridge Committee, you know, with Jazz Opt.
Yep.
The Jazz Opt, it's a Romanian rapper, and they sing together. They have a band together, I think, at one of their shows or something. So when I was working on my album, I remember Ken from that show, and I was thinking, oh, I can show some beats for Kent, and maybe we can make something together. And I sent in him, I think, 3 beats or 2 beats, and the one with the song was wow.
Where I live, so you know I'm grinding. Man, it's crazy where I live, so you know I'm grinding. Trying to finesse all of this shit until it's perfect timing. Yeah, you know I'm grinding. Yeah, you know I'm grinding.
was very happy with that, and the the song was tight. I also like a lot. I was talking about Shining because the other song at the end of the album with DJ Antenna, that was his idea.
Gotcha.
That up tempo melody and up tempo instrumental.
Yeah, the at our house, Shining makes everybody just bounce. My fiance, she's giggling over here. She, as soon as I played it, she's like, "Oh, that's good." And then she heard Ken Archie come on. She's like, "Oh, is that him?" I was like, "No, this is DJ Undoo song. It's just one of that he's on." But yeah, I mean, it's one of the cleanest songs on your discography. Maybe I might be biased because I could actually understand the whole song, but like you said, that rhythm, the vibe, I mean, like whatever you guys had going on in that studio that day was just right. And he's taught us all about the different ways to get in and out of Romania and a couple different places on the last episode. So knowing that he knows the ways in and out of your countries, Ken Archie, get back there and make a whole album with them because it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So let's move on. The next name, let's go to, who is Bitza? Bitza.
Bitza, it's a R&B soul hip hop artist. I also know him from there is a big troupe here, Parazizi. You know Parazizi?
I don't think I know that one.
It's a big band here, and they have a label to 20 Records, and Bitza, it's from their labels, and it's a good artist who I don't know what he's doing these days, but back in the days I was working with a lot with him, and I like a lot what he's doing, and I hope he's going to do more music in the future.
And then the last one on here, the easiest one to pronounce, who is Butch?
Butch is one of my band colleague. We have a band in 2008, Daga. We have an album together, and also was my associate in our first hip hop independent label, Hades Records. With Hades Records, we have made a lot of shows and a lot of independent artists release and albums, and we bring a lot of artists from outside here in Romania. And Butch was one of the founders of Hades Records and a good friend of mine.
Nice.
Also a good poet. I think it's one of the best people who I know who make very good rhymes and very profound and very I don't know how to call goosebumps.
Nice. And we're talking about your albums. I love the title of Ain't Fast Food Music. I love the cover art. I love all of it. What is fast food music if that ain't fast food music?
It's a concept in my head, I think, because back also in these days and back in the days when that album was made in 2011, a lot of music was made just like this. A lot of radios and TVs and a lot of artists they are making music, but I think they don't put their soul on it. It's just products like releasing music and okay, let's get over. So it's like fast food music, but it's like fast food from restaurants who are ready to eat, but they are not so healthy. So this is my concept with and fast food music. So it's not music that it's fast and that it's unhealthy. I think it's more healthy way to see the music and not giving fast aspect or something. Just
so we've learned that your music is not a hamburger. You are more of a nice Caesar salad with a chicken wrap type of music.
Yep. That's right.
Since I am a fat ass, let's talk a bit about food. What's food like in Romania?
It's good and it's bad. Depends where you make your groceries.
Nice. Like, what would be like a typical Romanian dish?
Typical main dish from Romania, French fries with some it's not very healthy.
Do you think
That
go ahead.
go ahead.
With the whole, I'd make the joke about the burgers and stuff, but with the ain't fast food music, it's essentially just a creative way of saying this is quality, not quantity. We put this together for you, not just to sell it to you. Kind of, is that the vibe you're going for with that?
That's the thing, yeah.
Gotcha. You got to throw some humor in there a little bit. So with an album, I know that you're pulling from your friends and things like that. You're also making all the beats and doing all the stuff yourself. How long does a typical album take for you to put out from start to finish? Or you kind of just, once you know you have enough songs, you put them together?
Depends on this album from 2015. I think I was working a year or a year and a half, something like that. And also I have some songs beginning. There was, I think, 3 or 4 songs that I have on my computer. So when I start the process of working on an album, I was okay. I take that 4 songs that I have and make another maybe 4 and 6 and 7. How many inspiration I got. So depends on the album from 2011, the Fast Food Music. I think I was working 3 years or something, but I was lazy in some kind. I don't want to put a record out quick. So it takes, I don't know. I think you can make an album in 6 months. Depends very much on the artist you bring on the album. If just the album, you are the only performing artist on that album, okay, you can make it I think in 1 week or something. But when you work with other artists, you have to catch them and wait for them and to make the lyrics and to come back to the studio and make the voices and all that things, and it's a longer process. But absolutely. I think in 1 year you can make an album, a great album, if you are focused and working every day. Just I think one verse a day, you can make an album in 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything else. It's just, small steps in a consistent direction take you to where you're trying to go, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the last area that I really want to touch on is something that I'm looking at you as kind of an expert on. Your YouTube following, your Facebook following, every following that you have, social media is great. What is it? Is it just the quality of what you're putting out, you think, that is keeping that big of fans, or are there any marketing hacks that you're doing?
Do you hear me? It's a little glitchy here for me. Okay.
Very good.
I don't think I have a big following except the Facebook page, I think. And that I think it's because of the fact that I was in the last, I don't know, 19 years of making music. I did a lot of albums, a lot of collaborations, and my name was out there with hip hop heads and with people and a lot of shows. And I think that was the thing. I think I was trying to make quality content. So I was focusing on quality and good things and details and all that things.
Excellent. That's exactly what I love to hear.
I don't have a hack or something. It's quality over time, I think, and perseverance and not giving up, never give up, that saying.
Absolutely. And I mean, that people don't think of that as a hack because it took 20 years. But that's a really good thing to highlight, is that, I mean, you're a young guy, but you've been doing it from an early age. So you have a 20-year catalog, that it's not just like, you put out a couple of two or three albums and, just let them sit there. And next thing you know, you had 45,000 fans or whatever. I mean, it's that every day for 20 years, you've been getting better at your craft and focusing on putting out quality, and people took notice to that, and that's what makes your videos have 1,000 shares on a song, or see people's. Nobody could do what you do with your hands, so you're like, oh wow, I got to show all my friends about that,
Yeah, that's right.
And for the quality, somebody that is in the music industry, you have some of the best DJ videos that I've seen, of kind of just like the nice vibe of people going around with the camera and just getting you doing your thing. Do you direct that, or do you have camera friends that kind of do those things? How do you get such?
I have camera friends. I think one of the video, if you show on my Facebook page, is made by my friend Fibo. You saw him later. And I have friends that are good at these things. So when I need them, I ask them to give me a hand, to help me with this, because I know they are good at these things. So
absolutely,
it's very important to let someone else who is very good at that thing, and to direct that, and to use their creativity and their imagination to bring something good out of it.
And connections like that, it seems like you probably scratch their back too, and they need a little bit of a music sample for a film or something like that. They probably come back to you because you guys have that nice bond and relationship.
Yeah.
And let's kind of start wrapping things down. As somebody do you have any new projects coming out? Like me being a fan, like, is there anything new that I'm going to see popping out soon that I'm like, oh boy?
I was taking a break from, I think, 2000. From 2017, I was doing an album with my man Omu Gnom. It's very good MC from the underground from here. Hrana, it's the name of the album. I don't know how to spell it in English. So after that, I was doing also an EP of 6 or 7 songs, and now I'm working with a good friend of mine who is from a band, from a rock band, from an alternative rock band, and we are trying to do some, fusion with hip hop and alternative and rock and songwriting and guitars and things like that.
Nice.
Colin from Coma is a well-known band from Romania. So I work with him on this project, and also I work on another album with MCs and DJs.
So you got your hands in like 18 different pots. Sounds like, I like it.
Yeah.
Another, you talked about the fusion and things, and when I talked with Ken Archie, it's I believe they were from Bulgaria, but Roulette, or is it, might have flipped that? Do you know them?
I think they're from Romania.
Are they from Romania?
Yeah, they're from Romania. Yeah, also very, very talented artists, and they're doing good things.
The sound that you were kind of describing on that one, like that fusion alternative, like the little bit I've heard about, probably half of their stuff, I think, and it's really interesting, like how they kind of fuse all those different sounds, like you were saying. Which, again, I've only got about a week's worth of Romanian hip hop knowledge. Just ever since we said this, I really try to go in and learn as much as I can. But it seems like you've mentioned it quite a few times in this interview that the American hip hop influences are really, really strong in the Romanian hip hop culture. What American hip hop right now is really big in Romania?
We talk about mainstream or about underground?
Give me 2 mainstream, 2 underground.
I don't know. I think Migos is it's all over the radio, I think, or TV or something, and maybe Drake, and and underground, I don't know. The underground are a lot of artists. People are listening a lot of underground artists from the States.
And still on the states mentality, as somebody that scratches and samples, I've heard tons and tons of old hip hop scratched with every DJ that scratches. Is there something about that old sound that just isn't in the new sound that just makes it more usable, if that's the word?
I don't know. Maybe it's the nostalgia. Maybe it's maybe it's just the things are sounding real, or they are not sounding the same if you use only 808 and all that sound or that synthetic sound with no sampling and with no scratches, it sounds the same. And maybe the scratch DJs prefer the organic stuff, the sampling, the jazz, the funk, the funky stuff, the real stuff with soul and with I don't know, with presence.
I fully get what you mean. Like it's same with, it makes sense again with how you're using it. Like it'll be a nice hip hop beat, and then you'll get like some type of ethnic horn, and then you go into like some 1960s funky jazz. You know, like you kind of get that whole thing going in there, and it really you find a way to blend it, which is awesome. But that's where I was kind of wondering, like you don't hear anybody really doing that much of that with, you know, like a Migos song. Like I wasn't sure if it was just like the way it makes sense. You know, like Dr. Dre beat, you have more feel than like you're saying, like the 808s or something like that. So it makes sense now that you put it out there.
Yeah.
And the last question that I got as far as music, and the whole time that I listened to you do your thing and you're pushing all these buttons, what is it like in the brain of a DJ when you hear music? Are you when you hear a new song, are you instantly like, oh, I know a place I could scratch that into, or how does that work in your brain?
There are some songs that are inspiring me. So when I hear a song, instrumental version, let's say, I feel like, oh, that's a nice part to make some freestyle scratches or something like that. Or there are some times when it's inspiring in sense of, oh, that sound, he used that sound, that producer, he used that sound in this way. Oh, nice! What an interesting way to use that sound, or things like that. But also, I also try to enjoy music without the mind of a DJ or the mind of a producer. Just to enjoy music with the vibe and the lyrics and the things that the artists want to transmit, to spread. So
Excellent.
I don't know. I think I switch between the producer and the DJ guy and the everyday listening guy who enjoys music and wants to feel good. I also want to listen music to change my state when I'm not very happy and or I'm not very motivated or things like that. I put some music to uplift my state, to change my state.
Absolutely. And how I like to end every interview, I gotta give you a heads up, is what I call the Digital Soapbox, where you get 30 seconds to a minute to just look at the camera and tell the fans anything that you want, direct them to anywhere you want them to go. Just, you get to end the interview however you want to end it, whenever you're ready.
I don't know, man. I think one of the best things I can tell to the people is to listen to their hearts and to make what they want to make in life, to be happy and to enjoy life with people and with friends, and try to not make compromise and to do things just for the money and just for the other exterior material things with the price of their soul, I think. So that's my thing.
Excellent. That's the kindest way that I think anybody's ever left the show. So I'll do it for you. Go check him out on YouTube, SoundCloud, all of the places that you can find music, iTunes, Spotify. He's everywhere. He's amazing, and he's getting better every day. I want to thank you personally, just for taking the time. I mean, you gave me an hour of your time. I greatly appreciate that. Once we hang up with this, I'll download all the footage. I'll get that to you, and as all the links come out of different things. The idea is each one of those questions is kind of going to come out as a segment with some little scratches or something behind it. Kind of just saying, hey, check out this interview I did, check out the music, and just try to send as many people towards your positivity and towards your high quality process as possible is my goal. And if there's anything that I can do to help you in the future, any promotions or anything that you need spread, I mean, if you want to come do a show in Cleveland, let me know. We'll help you promote it.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Excellent. And if they're touched, and like I said, thank you so much for your time. And
thank you.
Be on the lookout later. Like I said, as soon as I close the laptop, I'm headed to do another like 200 miles. We got 2 more tapes to do today. And we have the Romanian DJ right now. Then we're going with the Fabricator. Then we're going into a folk musician. If you were to do a folk album, let's get this last as a question. who, like, could you do a folk album? Could you do any genre?
I don't know. I think in the spirit of the concept, I think I can do a folk album, but I don't know to sing on the guitar or something like that. If I associate the folk music with
With the
the guitar.
banjo and the harmonicas and
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff. I mean, I think that, like, if you could make a gangster like rap mixed with like a folk vocal, that would kill the game.
Sure.
Excellent, buddy. You have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Big up. Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
Ciao.